Hello everyone, welcome to my Canine Melodious deck profile. I got first place with it at my locals box tourney. The deck felt really solid. I don't know if it's as good as like Canine Christian or versus Canine Christian or versus Canine, but it felt really fun, and it does feel like effectively what I'd want like pure canine to feel like, which is the reason I decided to play this, is that I wanted to play a more pure feeling canine list, but I needed extenders. I needed good extenders in the deck, and the Melodious cards are what I landed on. So first off, let's start with the primary engine, which is canine. We're on for monsters 3 canine Jokel, 2 canine Lantern, 3 canine Azuna, and 1 canine Lupus. These ratios were all really good. I think Lantern is a very underrated card. I think Lantern's really, really powerful. There were some times where I'd have to go like normal Lantern, Lantern Search, Case, and that would get me into combo. And when that happened, it wasn't too bad because I played the second Lantern, so I was able to then go still getting a Lantern through my combo and then bring out the Lantern and something else, which is really important. I'm also on a special secret combo for this deck that does make the end board a lot better, because the other big issue with Canine Pure is that its end board sucks ass. It's very bad. It's literally without the secret sauce I'm going to show off. It's like a rank 5 of some sort, Ripper, the quick play that pops a card, and Azuna in hand, and then you get to make the werewolf off of the card you pop. It's like 5 interruptions, and a lot of them are not very high impact, so you really do need a better end board, which I will show off in a bit. And I'll also show off the Melodious combo, because it shows off pretty much everything this deck does do. Then we have our Canine Searchers. We've got 3 Case for Canine and 3 Chaotic Elements. These are really good. Chaotic Elements specifically did come up for its ability to snatch steal a monster. I did take a Ryzeal Detonator, or attempt to anyway, and then they blew it up. But really, really good cards. You do, I think, need to play all 6 if you're relying primarily on the Canine engine, just because you need to see Jokel, and these also find you extenders. Like, Chaotic Element searching Lantern or Jokel is super important. And then we got the quick plays, plural. I played Forced Release and I played Release Restraint. Release Restraint is mandatory in order to in order to make your canine combo end on Ripper in the way we are doing it. In fact, I might show off 2 combos, because they do different things. I'll just like end the Melodious combo where I get to canine. But yeah, really, really strong stuff. Like it a lot. If you don't, actually, I haven't explained what this card does. If you don't know what this card does, a quick play on any phase targets a canine Xyz or a rank 5 Xyz and then turns it into a canine Xyz monster. So you can turn something like a River Stormer, or like something you want to resolve. You can chain this and then turn it into a Ripper or a Werewolf, which is nice. And now to our Melodious engine. We've got 3 Ostinato, 3 Couplet, which I will get into why you play 3 of this, 3 Refrain, and 1 Concerto. So 3 Refrain and 3 Ostinato is standard. 3 Couplet, the reason we're playing 3 Couplet is that in order for Melodious to bridge into Canine, you kind of do have to play 3 Couplet. The other reason we're on 3 Couplet is I wanted to up the amount of 5s I'm on. So like if I open Couplet plus Jokel, that's full combo. So did not mind playing 3 of it. And also, it's like a good extender if you open it plus Refrain or it plus Ostinato. Like, it gets you farther, which is nice. It also means that in this list, I don't really count Couplet as a brick. So the Melodious engine really only feels like it has 1 brick, which is crazy. Then we have my favorite card in the list, and probably the most important other than like Jokel, this might be the most important monster in the list, and that is 3 Disa Blaster, the Negation Fortress. This is one of my favorite cards probably ever. It is 2 effects. Its scale effect is that it can negate any card effect activated in its scale, or in its scale column, which is nice. It does matter where if your opponent just does poor zone. I say poor zone placement. Most people aren't trying to play around Disa Blaster. Where they put them in this or this zone, it does just negate whatever in there. So you just punish your opponent for whatever. There was a time where my opponent Murakumo board wiped me, which triggered, spoiler alert, Disa Blaster's effect to scale itself after it is destroyed in the monster zone. And then they summoned their Murakumo, which hadn't used the negate effect yet, into this column. So I was able to rescale it into this column and negate the Murakumo, which was insane. So they had to like burn their negate on the scale effect of Disa Blaster, which was hilarious. The monster effects, though, are where this card shines. So if there's a column with no cards in it, you can special summon this card to it. That's not an activated effect, so you can just throw them out there. And then any card effects activated in the zone he's in are negated. This is huge for so many reasons. The first and the most obvious is that you can reveal this off of Jokel and then summon it to whatever zone you want, effectively shutting down all cards in that zone. This is insane for going second. There were a ton of times, pretty much any time I saw this card in my hand, where I was going summon this in Jokel and just shutting down a bunch of my opponent's stuff or forcing them to stop something. If they didn't stop this, if they didn't negate this or something, this card was going to be a problem for them. It demands interaction, which is crazy. The second thing is that the Melodious engine allows me to use this as a disruption, because I can go link into Exceed the Pendulum and then use it on my opponent's turn, use Exceed the Pendulum to summon this to any of these zones, and like chain to something. So let's say my opponent uses, let's say my opponent links into a Yummy Snatchy in this zone, and then they use the effect. I can go Exceed, summon the Disa Blaster to this zone, and now that Yummy Snatchy's effect will get negated, even if they chain it to Synchro. Same thing works with like Fiendsmith Requiem. Same thing works with a bunch of different cards. Works on back row too. So if they hit me with like an evenly matched, or I guess not evenly matched is a bad example because Exceed only summons in main phase, but like, let's say they hit me with a, like a Raigeki, right? And they put it in this column. I can go, okay, chain Exceed, summon Disa Blaster to this column, negate the Raigeki. Insane. Unbelievable. It's a kind of like a funky Omni negate you can just set up. Only it's arguably better because it permanently shuts down that zone. So if you put it in front of the other link zone, any link monsters they make are now just shut down. It didn't happen in this event, but I have had events where I've played this card in like a pen list, and I've put it into that zone. It's just completely broken my opponent's brain. They just don't play right. This card makes people play wrong because they're not used to it. It's such a strange effect. But I love this card. It's an extender. It's a disruption tool. It's a board breaker. It's awesome. It's so cool. Honestly, my biggest motivator to even making this list was that I wanted to abuse this card really heavily. After that, we've got the Secret Sauce, and that is 1 Planet Pathfinder and 1 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Man, this card is not fair. So basically, what you do is you will go through your combo, Riverstormer, Search, Planet Pathfinder, and because the Canine combo doesn't take your normal summon, you can normal this and search Secret Village. And spoiler alert, the C104, the Masquerade, is both a really good end piece, but also is a big spellcaster for Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So you can do this combo without even seeing Melodious. You just have to make the C104, and now your opponent's locked out of spells unless they can out C104 or out Secret Village or something, which is huge against a lot of decks. Specifically, the matchup I wanted this combo for was Yummy, because especially the board breaker build of Yummy is so hard for this deck to deal with, but even without it, like, Yummy can engine through this deck's end board if you do not play something broken like this, simply because they ignore like half of your interruptions, because they don't use effects in hand, so it doesn't turn on Azuna, and it doesn't you don't have anything to negate with Ripper. It's really important that you play something dumb like this to get to just win games. Unfortunately, I'm not super happy about it, but yeah, you got to do it. Now for the non-engine, we've got our Power Spells / Breakers and 3 Triple Tactics Thrust, 1 Dark Ruler, and 1 Triple Tactics Talent. This is like our Thrust package. Thrust is crazy in this deck for 2 reasons. One, it gets you to either of these 2 cards. Dark Ruler is a great board breaker and against a lot of boards, and Triple Tack is just broken. Just a very, very good card. But the other reason is that it searches the non-once per turn Ostinato. So let's say my opponent ashes Ostinato when I go second, or just negates it with something. I can say, okay, Thrust for Ostinato, and then I Ostinato again, and then they probably lose the game because Ostinato is so unbelievably strong. It just does everything you could ever want a card to do. Yeah, very, very silly. Very broken. Thrust was incredible all day, just mostly getting me another Ostinato. If I resolved Ostinato, I'm going to be real, I don't think I lost a game I resolved that card. It's so insanely powerful. And then we have 2 Book of Eclipse. This card was fine. I just wanted a breaker that felt okay going first because we're not on a whole lot of hand traps or just non-engine in general in this list, and I wanted stuff that would feel impactful, and this card was fine. Not insane or anything, but fine. Didn't play against a whole lot of Yummy, and the one I did kind of didn't play the best, so, you know, we didn't end up needing this very much. Then we got 1 Infinite Impermanence. I probably should have put this with the Thrust, but this is just in there as a Thrust target going first. I wanted something I could set off of it. Then on to our extra deck. We've got, for our Melodious fusions, 1 Schuberta and 1 Basha. I didn't end up playing the extended package where like you make a second Basha and then you make Odd Eyes stuff, which was fine. Schuberta honestly was quite good. It didn't come up a ton, but when it did come up, banishing 3 cards out of my opponent's grave was really nice. It was very, very good. So yeah, these were great. Basha is just the most broken card ever made, next to Ostinato. It's crazy, crazy, crazy good. Then we've got 1 Exceed the Pendulum and 1 Beyond the Pendulum. These 2 go hand in hand. You make one, you're making the other. Exceed's awesome in this deck for getting more 5s onto your board and just doing a lot of different stuff. This adds your level 5 pendulums back to your hand for Jokel, which is really important. And Beyond the Pendulum's needed for most of your combos. You're going to go like Beyond the Pendulum, search Adisa Blaster, and then that gets it into rotation and gets you another level 5 in a rotation, which is really important. Then we are going on to our Ixies monsters. First off, we've got our Canine Ixieses. We've got 1 K9X Werewolf and 2 K917 Rippers. The only thing noteworthy here, like Werewolf's just in here because you need something to make with your K9 quick plays, but what I want to note with Ripper is that I really liked 2. In the grind game, 2 felt super mandatory. Just very, very, very strong cards. Yeah, was a huge fan of them. I would definitely recommend 2, especially if you're going to play a more canine heavy variant of any deck. Then we've got our Nash Knight package. 1 Nash Knight, 1 Chaos Xyz Nash Knight, and then 1 C104 and 1 104. These were extremely important. Most of the time we were using Nash Knight to make C104, but of course this is also just a really strong interruption in and of itself. If you don't know, what you can do is you can go make Nash Knight attach 104 from your deck, and then Xyz into CXyz Nash Knight, which can then detach a material to rank up into any Chaos 101 through 107, which is going to be our C104. And C104 is unbelievable. It detaches a material to negate a monster effect, rips a random card out of your opponent's hand, and halves their life, all in one. A very, very dumb card. Like it a lot. We've got now our last 2 Xyz monsters, which is Paradise Smasher, God, I hate this card, and River Stormer. I will say, Paradise was probably the worst card in the extra deck all day. I made it once, and the one time I did it got nibbed, but I guess it did force an Ibiru, so it was fine. And then River Stormer was super important. You need this in order to do your Secret Village combo. Doesn't really do anything else, but it does get you to the Planet Pathfinder. And then finally, you've got 1 SP and 1 IP. IP comes up a lot in your Melodious combos. It's also just a good card to have on some half boards, since the K9 cards don't actually lock you into anything. And then SP is just a really good card. Now we've got our side deck, which starts with one copy of Typhon. Never really came up, but the card is good. It was fine. I don't know. Probably would cut this in the future. Then we've got the Mulch Armies. We've got 3 Fualos and 3 Meowls. These were all right. Meowls never really came up, but it is in there for something like Malice. And then Fualos was great. Definitely would continue citing this. It's just a very good going second card into a lot of the matchups. I didn't main it, though, because I thought it was quite bad into decks like Yummy and decks like versus Canine, so I didn't want to play it against them. Then we got our hand traps, which is 3 Droll Knockbird and 2 Imperm. Imperm was for Paradise. I really didn't want to be losing to that card. Droll Knockbird is for the Ryzeal decks, which came up for sure. Droll, very, very good card. I think you do need it in pretty much any side deck if you're not maining it. And then we got 3 Solemn Judgment for going first. The Imperms along with this were usually what I was siding in, unless Droll was quite good. Just wanted a really good card I could side in for going first, I could side in for going first. And Judgment was fine. Might play Strike over this in the future, but we'll see. Judgment felt alright though. Alright, now I'm going to show off the 1-card Melodious combo, which we'll start with our best starter, Ostinato. We're going to go Ostinato, use into Basha, using a Refrain and a Couplet. We're going to trigger Basha to summon a Refrain from deck. Refrain effect on summons going to search Couplet. Couplet, when searched, is going to summon another Refrain from our grave. We're then going to scale Couplet, which can then search us a copy of Melodious Concerto. Concerto confuse to fuse away the 2 Melodious names into Schuberta. New chain will go chain 1 Refrain to rescale, chain 2 Couplet to rescale. Next we'll go link Refrain and we're going to go Refrain, target Basha. We'll send a Couplet from our deck to the grave. Then we will link these 2 off to make Beyond the Pendulum. We'll use Beyond the Pendulum's effect as chain 1. Basha is chain 2, targeting Couplet to summon it back, and then chain 3 Concerto to bottom deck and draw 1. We'll draw just a nothing card, just a card that isn't going to matter. Summon Couplet from grave, and then Beyond the Pendulum will search a copy of my boy, Disa Blaster. We're then going to pend 1, 2. We're now going to go link 3 for Exceed the Pendulum. Exceed's going to add Disa Blaster back to our hand. We're then going to use Exceed to summon from grave our copy of Couplet. We're then going to Ixies with these 2 to make Ripper. Ripper's going to detach to search a copy of Canine Jokel. We're then going to reveal the Jokel and the Disa Blaster in our hand to summon both. We're then going to go Jokel effect to search a copy of Lantern. We're then going to go Ixies with these 2 to make River Stormer. We're going to go River Stormer effect detach to search our copy of Planet Pathfinder. We're then going to link these 2 off for our IP Masquerena. We're then going to go Lantern, target Jokel, to summon both back, or summon both out. We'll go Lantern effect to search our Canine Forced Release. We're then going to go Ixies with these 2 to make a copy of Nash Knight. Then we'll use Nash Knight, detaching 2 to attach our 104. And then we will Xyz for Chaos Xyz, Nash Knight, and then we'll use Chaos Xyz Nash Knight, detaching the Nash Knight to rank up into C104. Then we'll normal the Planet Pathfinder, tribute the Planet Pathfinder, and search our Secret Village. We'll activate the Secret Village, we will set our Forced Release, and we will pass. So this is IP and SP, so 2 interruptions. Ripper negate, a 3rd interruption. Masquerade negate, 4th interruption. Juberta banish, 5th interruption. Exceed, summon Disa Blaster on the opponent's turn, which is another interruption since it locks out their Link Zone. Forced Release, target Ripper to go into Werewolf, which will pop another one of their cards. So that is a 7th interruption, and then Werewolf Hand Rip is an 8th interruption. So this is an 8 interruption board off of our 1 Ostinato. And one of the interruptions is Secret Village. Oh, sorry, 9 interruptions, because I didn't count Secret Village. Yeah, one of the interruptions is Secret Village, so you probably win. Very, very strong combo. And that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to try. I have a video on Sulfur in the works that I'm going to try to get out. Hopefully sometime this week, but it might be next week. We'll see. Anyhow, hope you all like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.